Hi everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be creating this cute and adorable tiger. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put up a presentation after this short introduction, and it's basically going to detail what we're going to need, and also it's going to show you what we're going to do for each section. So I would advise that you pause in between each slide, finish that section, and then you can move on. Once you're done with knitting all the parts, we can start assembling the teddy, and I'll see you at that point. Before we continue, I just want to let you guys know that if you are a beginner, I have done a video on how to cast on and cast off, also on color changes. So that'll actually benefit you when trying to attempt this project, because we don't show that in this actual project. So I'll see you when you've done with all the parts. So I've got the first panel with me, and this is going to form the body. So I'm going to cinch it up like a beanie. So what we're going to do, on this side, we're going to pull, and make sure all these stitches come together. Like so. And thereafter, we're going to put this yarn onto our needle. And we're just going to go around here on the top, just picking up those top stitches. This yarn is a bit long, so I'm just going to snip it off a little bit. So we're just going around on the top stitches just to reinforce it. Once we are around, you're going to tie a little knot here. Then we're going to put our needle through the center. Put our hand on the inside. And just bring it through to the other side, like so. Pull the needle through. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to pull here. As you can see, it's forming a little beanie. So we're going to put this onto our needle again. Just going to make it a little bit shorter. We're going to go around and pick up those top stitches. Then we're going to take our needle off. Just going to make sure that the thread that we put through is snug against the other side, like so. And then we can tie the two ends together. Like so. And then we can take these two ends and we can hide it on the inside. Just going to go through that center. Bring it through on the other side. And we can hide them. So this is our little beanie that we're going to form into the body. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put a little drawstring around the edge. So you're going to cut yourself a piece of yarn. Going to put it onto your needle. And then we're going to start creating that drawstring. So you're going to pick up a stitch, you're going to miss one, pick up another one, miss one, pick up another one, until you get all the way around to create that drawstring that we're going to use to close up the end. If we do miss a stitch, it's okay, as long as we get to close this end, just like so. Guys, please like and subscribe to this channel if you are enjoying the videos. This really does help with promoting the channel. Okay, we're at the end where that other piece is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stuff it. So I'm going to get some stuffing. We want it nice and stuffed, nice and firm. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So I'm going to pull on these strings just to see how it's looking. You can just shape it with your hand until you get the firmness that you want. I see it's still a little bit off shape. I'm going to add a little bit more. I think this is perfect. So this is what we have so far. So now we can tie these two yarn pieces together. We still have a little opening there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these yarn tails onto my needle. And I'm just going to reinforce this. Just by grabbing the top stitches there. Going around, and as you get around you will close that gap. Once the gap is closed, you can tie these two together. And we can hide them into the body. That's the first part done. We're just going to shape it a little bit, like so. And thereafter we can move on to the next section, which is the face. Now we're going to start with the face. This is the face panel. So I'm going to do the same process as we did with the body. I'm going to pull on one side. I'm going to cinch this up. Going to tie a knot. Then we're going to put the needle through the center, bring it onto the other side. I'm going to pull the other side so we can cinch up that as well. Just like so. Same process, we're going to go around and tie it off. Just picking up those top stitches. And then we're going to tie it off. And then we can just fold this over and put those tails on the inside, like so. Now we're going to do a drawstring around here. So I've cut off a piece of white yarn. I'm just going to add it onto my needle. And we are going to do the same thing like what we did for the body. You're going to pick up a stitch, miss a stitch, pick up a stitch, miss a stitch, all the way around until we reach the end. We are at the end. So I'm just going to leave this one side until we're ready to stuff that. But we're also going to use the cheek parts that you made as well. So going to get these, and we're going to do the similar process. We're going to pull on one side, like so. And we're just going to reinforce that a little bit. Like we just tie it off, because this is going to go on the inside of the face, so it doesn't need to be 100% secure. Okay, so we pulled on one side. You're going to put your thumb on the inside, pull the other side, like so. We're going to get a little bit of stuffing, and we're going to stuff it. Just like so. Just until it's nicely stuffed, because this is going to be forming the head. I think it does need a little bit more. Just like so. Okay, so that's nice and stuffed. It's nice and firm. So we're just going to cinch up the other end. And we can just snip this off like so. You don't need to be as detailed as the other parts with this because it is going under the face. So we're going to do that to the other one as well. So now we have the two balls for the head. And we're going to stuff the face a little bit. So we're just going to get some stuffing. I'm going to put it in. Like so. Then I'm going to take the two balls. I'm going to put them in here. Like so. And then we're going to add more stuffing. Like so. And we're going to pull on our two pieces of yarn there. Just going to push the stuffing in like that. So you can see how the head is forming now. Just going to put a little bit more in. That's a little bit too much. Pull these together. You can see the two balls are there. Just gonna play around with it a little bit to see how's the shape looking. It does need a little bit more stuffing at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to pull these two together. I'm going to tie it. There's an opening there, but we're going to reinforce it like how we did the body. I think that's perfect. So I'm just going to tie these two together nice and tight. Did about 3 knots. Then we can hide it on the inside. You can cut that off. We are going to get a little piece of the white yarn. Put it onto our needle. And now we're going to feel where the balls are. You can see them at the top here. So now I'm going to go in here just around here. Going to put my needle through, come out onto the other side. Go down 1 stitch, come out 1 stitch below where the yarn is. And just tie those two together. To give us that little indent there. So then we can hide this on the inside. So this is just forming part of the face now. Like so. So we got an indent there, we got an indent here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get the nose. So the nose we are going to pull on one side. going to pull on the other side. Just like so, until we get this little section. So the nose is going to go above here, about here. So what I do is going to put this onto my needle, and it's like maybe it's 2 stitches above from the center here, and I'm just going to sew this section in. So you're going to pick up a stitch here, go into the nose, pick up another stitch, go into the nose, pick up a stitch, go into the nose, just continue doing this until you have completely sewn on half of the nose. Once you're halfway done, you can tie this up. You can take that thread and put it onto the inside. Like so. I just pushed that thread on the inside, so it's created a little stuffing there. Now with the other piece, we're gonna continue going around there. Okay, I'm at the end here. Just going to sew this last part, and then we can tie it up. Snip that off, and that's the nose. You just flatten it a little bit. So before we start adding the details to the face, we're going to sew the head onto the body, like so. So I'm just going to get myself a piece of yarn. Going to put it onto my needle. And we're going to start attaching the head to the body. So I'm just going to tie this onto the head first. Like so. Just going to hide this into the work. And we can start sewing the head onto the body, like so. So we're going to pick up a stitch on the body, pick up a stitch on the head, pick up a stitch on the body, pick up a stitch on the head, we're going to go all the way around until the head is secured onto the body. So I think that looks perfect. I'm going to tie it off here. And I'm going to hide that end. There we have it, the head is on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the eyes. Like so. So these are sew on eyes. So I'm going to sew them on off camera. And then we are going to continue with the rest of the body parts. So now we're going to move on to the ears. And I have attached one already. So we've got our ear panels. Just going to pull onto one side. Like so. And then I'm going to put this onto my needle. And we're just going to reinforce that end a little bit. So we're just going to pick up a few of the top stitches there. Just going around. Like we've been doing with the previous panels. Then we can just tie a knot there. We're going to put our needle through, pull that yarn onto the other side. And then we are going to close this end as well. Just making sure to stretch out this end. Like so. And then we're going to tie these two ends together. Be careful not to break your yarn. then we can just hide this on the inside and snip that off. And we're going to bring this tail to the edge. We're just going to tie a knot here. And we're going to attach it to the body. So I've attached this ear already. So just going to see where this one is. So where the indent is, 4 stitches down. Four stitches down is there. We're going to put the ear here. So we are going to pick up a stitch on the body, pick up a stitch on the ear, pick up a stitch on the body, pick up a stitch on the ear until it's nice and secure. Once you feel it's nice and secure, we can tie this end. And we can hide this thread. Okay, so now we have the ears on. I'm going to go on to the details of the face now. So we're going to add the eyebrows, and we're going to add a little bit more here to create that little. I'm going to get some black yarn. I'm going to put the black yarn onto my needle. I'm going to bring the yarn in from the side, and I'm going to come out just below the nose, right there, and then I'm going to pull that needle through. Thereafter, I'm going to pull yarn through, so we have enough to do this mouth section and also the eyebrow. So I'm going to come just below that center there. Going to put my needle in and come out where we went in. Going to do it again. Just going to do it one more time. There we go. And you're just going to pull it lightly until that mouth forms. Thereafter, we're going to take our needle with our black yarn. Going to go through that space there, and we're going to come up to the just above the eyes to do the eyebrows. So I'm just gonna see here. So I went up here for the eyebrow. And then I'm going to go 2 stitches there. I'm going to put my needle, come out on the other side. There. So I can do the eyebrow on the other side. First, before we continue with this one. So I'm going to go in, come out there, gonna go in again, we're gonna do it about 4 times. Just like so. Don't pull it too tight. So I did it about 5 times there. I'm going to go onto the other side now. I'm going to do the same process. So we've done the last bit of the eyebrow. I'm going to go in here, come out to where we went in, just making sure everything is nice and aligned. And then we can cut this yarn. And we can tie it off. Tie it lightly because you don't want to pull here. Then we can put this onto our needle and we can hide it. Snip that off. And we have the eyebrows and the mouth. So now we're going to move on to the arms and the legs. So this is one of the panels. I've just stretched it out a little bit. So we're going to get our needle. Going to put this onto our needle and we're going to pull. We're going to cinch it up just like how we've been doing previously. Gonna go around on those top stitches. Going to tie it up. Then we're going to put our needle in the middle. Pull it onto the other side. like so. Then we're going to pull onto the other side. And then we're going to tie the two ends together. Then we're going to put one of these tails on our needle, and we're going to hide it on the inside. Like so. This we're going to use for sewing, so we'll leave that out. We're going to get a piece of black yarn. And we are going to create a drawstring here. So we've got our drawstring on. We're going to get some stuffing. Going to put it onto the inside. So we're going to stuff it and then see how it feels. I think this is perfect. So now we can just tie this together. And then we can hide this on the inside. You can snip this off. And that's one of the arms or leg. We're going to do this for the other panels as well, and I'll see you when you're done. Now I'm going to show you how to attach the arms and the legs. So I have attached an arm and a leg so far. So the arm is going to go there, leg at the bottom there, like so. So we're just going to get this yarn onto our needle. We're going to align it here. So we're going to do this by picking up a few stitches from the body and then going into the arm, but at the back here, just at the back there. Pull that through. Then we're going to go back into the body. And we're going to go back into the arm, pulling tightly so the stitches get nice and tight. It's going to go again one more time into the body. And then we can tie it up. At the back. And we can hide that. Snip that off. And that's one of the arms on, like so. For the leg, this is the bottom part. We're going to put this other piece onto our needle. So this is the center. We're just going to go straight from there, straight across from the other leg, there. So we're going to pick up a stitch from the body, go into the leg, pick up again, just picking up until the leg is secure to the body. Then we're going to tie a knot. You're going to put this needle through, come out onto the other side. Then we're going to flip him on the back, and we want the leg to be out like this. So that's the reason we brought the yarn to the front, so we can sew this part together so that it'll be in a sitting position. So you're just going to pick up a stitch on the body, pick up a stitch on the leg, and then we can tie it off. Can tie that off, and we can put it into the body to hide it. Can snip it off. If you don't like the way that it's looking, you can put another piece of yarn and bring it up a little bit more, like so. Now that the arms and legs are on, we're going to move on to the tail. So the tail, we're just going to pull it up. We're going to stretch it like so. And we're going to position it in this way here. As you can see, I did all the color changes here. So this is going to go onto the inside so you won't see it. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to pull on one end. We're going to get our needle. We're going to roll this up like so. And we are going to mattress stitch this tail closed. So got my yarn onto my needle here, just going to make a knot here. And now we can mattress stitch the tail closed. So to mattress stitch, you're going to find the V's going down like that on this side and on the other side. So at the beginning it's a little bit hard, so Just find whatever you can find there. Just going to go into here. Go into here, we're going to pick up 2 bars. Going to go into here. Going to pick up another 2 bars there. So you're going to pick up 2 bars here. You're going to pick up 2 bars there. Just carry on picking up 2 bars. On the V going down. You can hold the edge and pull it. And we're going to do that all the way up. So at the end, I'm just going to pull on this end. Going to tie these 2 together. It doesn't look perfect, but it's going to go onto the end. It's going to go around like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this onto my needle. Just going to hide one inside. Snip that off. And then we are going to attach the tail here. So you're going to grab the tail, grab the body, go inside the tail, go into the body, into the tail. Then we're going to tie this. You can hide this into the body. Snip that off. You're going to take that piece, going to bring it around, making sure that the stitch part is on the inside. Going to bring it around onto an orange stripe like so. Going to put a piece of yarn onto the tail at the end. To tie it up. And hide that on the inside. So now that we have our piece of yarn onto the tail at the end, we can sew it on to one of the orange stripes. So I think around here would be perfect. So we're going to go into the body, into the tail, into the body, into the tail. Try and go into all the layers so it's nice and firm. Then we can just tie that off. Once that's tight, we can hide this end. And this is our beautiful tiger. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and also follow me on Facebook. My group is called Nico Nets. And if you make this project, please post a picture in the group. Thank you so much for clicking on this tutorial.